While most of you are probably tired of hearing about what's going on with Brandon Ayuk, the situation with Trent Williams has been the polar opposite. Not a lot has been said. Honestly, we've kind of been in the dark for the entire time, and the only thing we've ever heard about the situation has been presented as optimistic. Well, that tone has changed pretty significantly this week, and it continues to kind of head in that direction. So, I do believe this is a pertinent Trent Williams update. This one from Josina Anderson. And Josina Anderson has been proven to be very connected to Trent Williams' camp in the past. So I think she is a phenomenal source for anything Trent Williams related. So let's take a look at what she has for us today. So she is saying, stated that hearing Trent Williams wants to be paid like the very important piece he is. And obviously, when you say paid, meaning there's no team discounts, that he's the best tackle in football and wants to be paid like that. So what I'm taking away just from that first sentence is he's not doing any favors for the San Francisco 49ers. Kind of I think what Steve Young went on KNBR yesterday and kind of said, like from the team's perspective of, wanting Trent to maybe not do this right now in this particular window. But again, on the player side of things, players have such a limited window for when they can get their money. And Trent Williams, 36 years old. So this is the window for him. He's got no guaranteed money left on his contract, although he does have 3 years remaining. The similar thing happened to Christian McCaffrey. Christian had, from my understanding, no guaranteed money left on his deal. So the 49ers took care of Christian. Obviously, Christian is a very important piece to the 49ers. So is Trent Williams. And, some would argue that not only is Trent, maybe the most important piece on the San Francisco 49ers entire team, but you could say he's the best player in the NFL. It's been something that I've been pounding the table saying since about 2021 when he put in what I would consider the best offensive line season by any offensive lineman to ever play, let alone just tackle. So 2021 was a special year, and he's been able to maintain, for the most part, that level of play. So even being 36 years old, he is looking to be paid as the best left tackle in football. That's what he's after. And when I see paid, that's the double emphasis of paid is no discounts, no team friendly deals. This is my last chance at a payday, and I am going to make sure I get everything that I'm worth. That's my read on what that means. It goes on to say another league source also added this morning San Francisco is between a real rock and a hard place because Trent is not playing around. Something may have to give unless you're allowing for big adjustments next season. So I don't really love that last sentence because it's saying something without saying something. So if we take a look at the first part of it, San Francisco is between a real rock and a hard place. So what I'm gathering is that the San Francisco 49ers are having a hard time uh basically meeting Trent with the ask, meeting Trent with where he is in that particular contract negotiation, which is why they are in a real rock and a hard place. It's just a challenging situation to navigate through. But it goes on to later say because Trent is not playing around, meaning, like we talked about earlier, Trent is looking to reset probably the market as a 36-year-old left tackle. And the 49ers probably weren't anticipating that. Maybe they were. Um, but considering the stance that Trent has taken by completely holding out, has obviously set the tone for a lot of different reasons. That's probably why you may be wondering why I have a picture from How to Train Your Dragons. I brought this reference up on live yesterday, talking about how Trent is the alpha And the correlation that I made was you had Toothless over here, um, who's kind of like the alpha of the smaller dragons, but you have this alpha who is the alpha of all dragons, right? Trent is that guy. He's the alpha of all the dragons, of all the 49ers players, of the Debo Samuels, of the Brandon Ayuk's, of the Nick Bosa's, of even like, Fred Warner. I would say, like, if we had to really rank hierarchy, it would, even though Fred is one of the best leaders in the locker room, he's probably the most vocal leader in the locker room. He's definitely a guy just like Trent Williams, just like Debo Samuel, who is up there. I think if we all really had to rank the hierarchy, it would be Trent at the top. He's just that guy. And so when the main guy is handling contract negotiations like this, I think it sends a message to the rest of the Dragons. And as you can see from this particular update, is he's handling this in a very particular fashion. And I don't think it's much of a surprise to potentially, if you see how Ayuk's handling this, if you've seen how Debo Samuel's handled his negotiation in the past, there seems to be this common theme with how the best players handle these negotiations with this franchise. So I don't have any information into why that is, or why that could be happening, but it's just a trend and we've noticed it. And now you've got your alpha, the biggest guy in this locker room, the most important guy in this locker room, not there. And he's not subscribing apparently to the idea that he needs to take a pay cut, or he just plays on this last year, or what have you. And obviously, the situation with Trent is much different than Brandon Ayuk, because Trent actually owns the leverage, like all of it. Not to say that Brandon Ayuk doesn't have any leverage right now. I think he holds a lot of leverage in this situation, which is why we are still here in August 27th. No trade, no deal, partly due to Brandon Ayuk being able to control his destiny here. So, but with Trent, he, like, I think everyone understands that just like Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to step on the field without guaranteed money, neither is Trent Williams. And so, but the thing is, it sounds like Trent's trying to reset the market. And again, what I don't like about that last sentence is something may have to give unless you're allowing for big adjustments next season. My interpretation of that is something has to give, meaning you got to pay Trent Williams. You got to pay Trent Williams, or or unless you're allowing for big adjustments next season, i.e., trade. That's my interpretation. Is that you either pay, it sound like it's not worded that way. It's not super definitive. It's definitely a read between the lines type situation. But that's my read on it. Something has to give. Either give him the contract unless you're allowing for big times adjustments next season by trading him away. That's my interpretation of this. So, although we did feel optimistic early on about this situation, that doesn't make me feel optimistic at all. It doesn't make me feel, and especially with kind of hearing Steve Young talk about this situation yesterday, kind of, being like, Trent, come on, man. Like, from that perspective, you're like, all right, well, that kind of aligns with this sentiment. And they're effectively saying, either pay him or trade him, without saying that. At least that's my interpretation. And I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong on that interpretation. But you guys let me know what your interpretation of this report from Josina Anderson is. And is something going to give in this situation? Or are there big adjustments coming? Not ideal. Not ideal. But you let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.